Speaker, just yesterday, the NCC rolled out an instruction. And the instruction actually is based on what is happening in Nigeria, rising from what happened during NSAS, where most Nigerians or most hoodlums were using SIM card to abuse and terrorize people in office without being able to ascertain or track them. And rising from that behavior, the NCC was actually summoned by the House to find out why it is it that all the SIM cards are not registered. And there were instances where in the meeting that we had, some members brought out their phone where people called them or sent text, and in trying to identify who is the true caller, it's difficult because you can go to anywhere on the road and buy SIM card without it being registered. I think rising from that, NCC was mandated that they should try as much as possible to ensure that all the service providers get all the SIM cards registered. And to start it is first of all to register with National Identity Card Management, so that you can have your national identity card number. When you have it, you will not take it to service providers and they will, of course, register you. But we did not envisage, Mr. Speaker, that having given that suggestion, that they will now come and say, okay, we are limiting this process to only 2 weeks. And given the period that we are, it will be almost impossible for Nigerians, 200 million Nigerians, to meet that 2 weeks. Hence, this motion. The motion is not saying that we are condemning it. The motion is seeking for NCC to extend that 2 weeks, because it will be almost impossible for Nigerians, every 200 million Nigerians, to be able to, within 2 weeks, register their SIM card. One, it's not just registering, Mr. Speaker. They will first of all go to National Identity Card Management Commission and register themselves. That alone is cumbersome. After the registration, you will not take your NIN number and now look for your service provider. You can imagine the queue. So 2 weeks, in my opinion, and I think it should be the opinion of every member that is representing Nigerians, 2 weeks is damn too small. And that is why this motion is urging members to support it, for us to get NCC to please extend the tenure of 2 weeks to enable every Nigerian to register, so that we can actually track people down. Those who use SIM card for fraudulent acts, they will be able to be tracked down. I had somebody also who submitted that somebody will send messages asking people to pay money. And in finding them, even opening account, they use fictitious SIM card. When you try to track them, you will not be able to track them. So this exercise will actually help us in Nigeria to secure until we pass the data protection bill. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
Is the chairman communications here?
Mr. Speaker, the motion by the minority leader is a straightforward motion. Every Nigerian, particularly this House, will support the motion for an extension of the 2-week lag for the registration of SIM card. But this is an opportunity for Nigerians to know the rationale behind this lofty policy. The minority leader has taken us back to memory lane, the effort of this noble House in ensuring that the service provider safeguard Nigeria and also improve the security of Nigeria as a nation. Mr. Speaker, NIMSI, this agency of government, is saddled with the responsibility of issuing unique identification number to all Nigerians. The moment this is done, Mr. Speaker, if I, as Akim Adeyemi, have MTN line, Airtel, 9Mobile, all this line will be linked with my unique digital identification number. By so doing, Mr. Speaker, service providers will not be in undue competition to outsmart each other by giving out SIM card to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. It's usually by kidnappers and other scrupulous elements in the nation who kidnap people, and they will be transacting ransom via telecommunication, and then the security agents will not be able to track them. It's a lofty program, Mr. Speaker. I believe the ministry just want the Nigerians to be aware of this registration. Step one, Mr. Speaker, the ministry has ensured that all the telecommunication providers are serving as agents of NIMSI now. It is not only in NIMSI centers that we can get our unique digital number. Every Nigerian can walk into his Airtel, to MTN, Nine Mobile, Globalcom. As you are doing your registration, you can get your NIMSI unique ID card there. So also, I want to abide by what the manager has said. The Committee on Communication of this House would definitely ensure that there is an extension to the time lag of 2 weeks. It's a straightforward motion. The House has accepted that there should be an extension for the time lag for all Nigerians to be able to be captured. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
It's straightforward.
Colleagues, my name is Tobi Okechukwu. I represent an area of Oji River Federal Constituency from Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, I think the Minority Leader and Chairman House Committee on Communications have laid the necessary background. But I think, to be specific, I think it will be good that we recommend a time frame. You know we are in a COVID season, apart from the festivities. So I think it will be good that we give a timeline, a minimum, something like after the Christmas, that they should end in, my amendment will read, the SIM card verification should be for a duration of 6 weeks, ending 28th February 2021.
Considering the fact that it takes a minimum of 6 months to even register the MC and have the card, also considering the facts of the nature and soul nature of the NIMSI, if we do not give a reasonable time, we will jeopardize all people and defranchise them.
Okay.
Reasonability determines what we see. Therefore, I do not think that 1 year will be too long. It should be a continuous exercise rather than pegging it. Make it continuous.
Okay.
Therefore, 1 year is reasonable enough.
Mr. Speaker, the amendment is to the fact that agencies responsible for collation of data should ensure synchronization of this data, Mr. Speaker, to make for ease of access to this data by Nigerians. In the sense that, Mr. Speaker, the bank will collect your BVN. The Federal Road Safety Commission will get your data for ID card. For driver's license. INEC will get your data for voters registration card. And then NIMC would get your data for national ID card. And telecom operators will get your data for SIM registration. If there were to be an integration of data, Mr.
So please, I just need amendment.
Yes, sir.
That's where we are now. We're no longer debating this motion.
Thank you, sir.
What's the amendment?
The amendment is that there's need for integration of data by the different agencies that are responsible for collation of data, Mr. Speaker.
Please don't go asleep.